Hey y'all, it's your girl Jada J. What's up? What's up? So this was the Haves and Have Not season 5 episode 10. Forget the bubble. They was wilding to the island, y'all. I'm telling you, I had to go get some soap and water a couple times just to wash my hands because I was feeling filthy with this episode right here. All right, because it was a lot going on. Like, cause we been Tyler. I don't know what's going on with Tyler. If Tyler has been, I don't know, because these scenes, Tyler, really? Should these be on TV? Should they be airing? And you know, Tyler is slick because I was down there. I was on set last week and I told Tyler. Tyler has me go through the scripts because he knows I'm writing. You know what I'm saying? I'll give Tyler a chance every now and then to shine, but I'm writing. So I let him write this week's episode. And, okay, well, you need to find a loophole for that because I'm not going to jail for this. I'm being told I actually signed a contract and I was just brought on as a ghostwriter, so I was never supposed to say anything. Okay, well, work overtime so you can figure something. That's not my issue. That's yours. All right. Anyway, shout out to the Jedi. I was on set and I was reading through the script. I said, Tyler, I can't even get through this without feeling like I need soap and water to wash my hands. I can't. We don't want this on television, Tyler. We don't want this. He says to me, you know what, you're absolutely right. I'm going to edit some stuff out, clean some stuff up. I said, okay, Tyler, perfect. I was supposed to have a briefing with him yesterday. He calls me, oh, I'm not even on set. I have one of the assistant writers on. Can we cancel? And don't worry, everything has been cleared for the episode. I've already cleaned everything up. I said, okay, Tyler, fine, cool. I understand, you're sick. He tells me he gave the script to the assistant writer. Everything, yeah, all right. So he tells me everything's cool. I sit down to watch this episode tonight. I realized that Tyler had he juked me. Okay, he lied. He got me. Next time, I don't care if Tyler's sick or not. I'm going to see him. I'm going to see him so we can discuss these episodes. All right. I'm just playing, y'all. Tyler. Shout out to Tyler Perry. This is the Heavens and Heaven season 5 episode 10. Forget the bubble. Let's go ahead. So we open up with Hannah. All right, at the police station where we left off last week, right? Remember, she went in there. I know where Candace Young is. That's my daughter. The cop immediately knows who Candace is. So what happens? Roll to the back. We switch to the back because then the officer is like, hold on, ma'am. She's going to go get somebody who can handle this. We switch to Justin and the rookie cop who shot at Jeffrey. We switch to them in the back. They looking at the ME report. I guess it's the first time Justin has actually seen the report. And he goes, dang, 40 stab wounds and stuff. And the other cop is like, yeah, man, that's messy. He like, whoo, like, yeah, that's kind of crazy. So then the rookie cop is telling him, he like, oh, Justin, you're going to make it for detective, right? He's like, yeah, man, I hope so. I've been wanting this position and all this. Then the other cop is like, man, I just got my son in private school, right? So Justin is like, don't worry, I'm not going to say anything, because he shot at a civilian. So who Justin said wasn't endangering him. So he shot at a civilian. So he's like, yeah, man, please, my kid just got into private school. Justin's like, be cool, man. I'm not going to say anything. It's okay. He's like, the only reason I shot at him because I thought he was hurting you. He was like, yeah, well, he wasn't. He's like, it just looked like he was getting the best of you. He was like, do you honestly think I would let that happen? He's like, look, man, I never would have shot at him if I knew that was your friend. He goes, my friend? He's like, yeah, you said you two were horse playing. He was like, that's not my friend. He's like, but you said, he goes, look, just drop it, all right? And then so he's like, okay, I'm sorry. And then Justin is like, but if he decides to report this, you could lose your job, right? He's like, yeah, man, could you please talk to him? So Justin is like, yeah, man, let me handle it. You ain't really need to do that because we know Jeffrey not about to. That's the least of Jeffrey worries. Justin probably just want a reason to go see Jeffrey and not have it looking suspicious, all right? So that's when the officer comes back and she goes, is Billy here? He goes, nah, he went home for the night. What's going on? She goes, well, we have a woman here saying that she knows where Candace Young is. He goes, really? She goes, yeah, I was supposed to tell the detective, but since you said he left, he goes, yeah, I'll handle it. Because he goes to the front. He goes, is that her? She goes, yeah. He goes, hello. She goes, hey. He's like, are you, he goes, and you are? She goes, I'm Hannah Young. So he's like, so you know where she is? He goes, yeah. She goes, yeah. He's like, where? She goes, y'all aren't gonna, she goes, if you guys go to find, he goes, no, she goes, sorry. My brain is moving faster than I'm able to speak. She goes, how do y'all do this? He goes, I'm sorry? She goes, are you guys gonna go in there with weapons and guns and stuff like that? He goes, well, that depends. Does she have any weapons? She goes, no, I don't think so. And he goes, then we'll just ask for her to come with us into custody, and that'll just be how it is. And she's like, really? And he's like, yeah. Why do you ask? And she's like, well, I have her son, my grandson, at the hotel, and I just don't want him to be seeing it. He goes, yeah, man, I completely understand. And then so he goes, so where is she? She's like, the Fountain Drop Hotel. He goes, on Fountain in Dublin. She goes, yeah. He's like, what room is she in? She goes, look, I have to be sure y'all are not going to go in here and raid the place, because I do have my grandson. I don't want him to see any of this. And, you know, she doesn't need you to, like, detain her or anything. Like, she's not going to get violent. She's trying to, like, defend her. And then so he goes, ma'am, we'll just wait for her out. He was like, I'll have to clear it with the boss. Because she goes, could you guys wait for her outside? He's like, I have to clear it with the boss first, but I'm pretty sure we'll probably be able to work that out. Yeah, right. So she's like, y'all aren't going to come in and raid the place. So he's like, ma'am, we're not going to do that. He goes, now what room? She goes, room 17. He's like, okay, we'll send an officer. She goes, now? He's like, yeah. She goes, no, you can't do that now. You know, my grandson's got school in the morning. He goes, okay, ma'am, I'll have to check it with the boss, but I'm sure we can work something out. And she's like, okay. And then he goes, can I ask you, who are you to her? And then she goes, I'm her mother. And he kind of looked like he felt like a little bit bad. You know what I'm saying? But not that bad. All right. So then, so she about to leave. He goes, Miss Young? She goes, yeah. He goes, can I ask you something? Sure. Do you know what happened to Quincy Maxwell? No. Well, he was stabbed over 40 times, according to the ME's reports. She goes, oh my goodness. She was like, well, he goes, what can you tell me about Quincy Maxwell? She goes, I mean, he was bad news, violent. He goes, what do you mean bad news? She goes, check his record, you know. And then he goes, can you elaborate on a relationship between him and your daughter? She goes, I mean, they were together. It was a very violent relationship. He beat her. He beat her son. If something did happen, it was definitely in self-defense. She might have been trying to get away from him. He goes, so is that why she killed him? She goes, whoa. I didn't say she killed him. He goes, ma'am, you just said. She goes, no. I said that if something did happen, it would have been in self-defense if he was trying to come for her. Those are two different things. He goes, okay, ma'am, I'm just asking a question. You don't have to get upset. She goes, all right, I'm just trying to tell you because you twisted stuff up and you trying to get us killed down. I'm being told that wasn't said, but it was in my script, okay, in my rewrites. So, yes. So then he's like, I have another question for you. She goes, all right. He goes, we're being told that according to ME's reports, there had to be a second person. Some of the wounds were from a higher angle and cut a little bit deeper. He goes, and it was possibly a male. Do you have any idea who that could be? And she goes, no, I don't. But we know she's thinking it's Benny. And so he's like, are you sure? Like, you can't think of it? She goes, no, I'm sorry. He goes, well, here's my card. Just, text me if she's still at the location. And she goes, you're not going to come tonight, right? He's like, no, ma'am. To be honest with you, we don't even have a warrant. So it's going to take at least a day or so for my boss to get the warrant. So we need your confirmation to even get into the room. So we're going to be awaiting your text. And so she's like, thank you. He's like, Miss Young? She goes, yeah. He goes, you did the right thing. So what happens as soon as she leave, he getting on the phone. We already know. He calling Jeffrey. Jeffrey don't answer the phone. So he starts texting Jeffrey. We see the text later on. But yeah, we see Jeffrey look at the phone and then, press decline. So then we see Hannah get into the car. She's trembling like she can't believe what's going on because she thinks it's Benny and Candace. She ain't wrong, but she ain't right. Then we switch to Candace in the room with Charles. All right. And he's like, I'm not sure if I want this. She goes, you're kidding me. He's like, nah, I'm not. Like, I think this is going to be really difficult. She goes, it's the president of the United States. You know how many people have dreamed of that? He goes, yeah, but I mean, it's not all this crowd kept up. He was like, once you get in there, it could really suffocate you. I mean, that bubble is small. She goes, you are not getting no sympathy from me. And he goes, look, I grew up in Detroit by way of Tennessee. He goes, sometimes when I'm in those rooms, I just want to scream. He goes, I know how to play the game. She goes, obviously. He goes, obviously it's debilitating. All right. He goes, I love politics. I really do. But the White House and then my wife dying and then I'm raising 2 kids by myself. She goes, kids. He goes, yeah, 7 and 10. She goes, I didn't know that. He goes, you really should search me up on the net. she goes, I'm sorry, I'll just have my chief of staff do that when I get home. And he goes, I really am a nice guy. She goes, so your mouth says. He goes, no, like, I'm a really great guy. And she's like, do you want another drink? And he's like, you trying to get me drunk? She was like, I'm trying to make sure you stay drunk. And he's like, I will if you will. And she was like, will you? He was like, the drink, that is. She goes, will you do anything else? He's like, Candace. He was like, that's that bubble I'm talking about. And she goes, how so? He's like, listen, I can't sleep with somebody I just met downstairs at a hotel. Like, I just can't do that. We don't know each. She goes, well, you're single, right? He goes, I'm a widower. She goes, well, she's not here and you have needs, don't you? He goes, yeah, I do. Listen, that wouldn't have worked on me. Okay, I would have been like, nah, which the only need I got is for you to get about my room right now. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Just flipping on her like you thought you was getting somewhere with me, but you not. You know what I'm saying? I don't appreciate it. Once again, you didn't succumb to the temptation. I don't appreciate it. All right. So yeah, he go, yeah, I do. And then she was like, is it the bubble or is it your wife? He goes, what do you mean? She goes, well, have you been with another woman besides your wife? He was like, I mean, I've been with my wife for 15 years. She was like, then you know it's your wife and not the bubble. And he's just like, he's telling Candace, I don't know how to do this. I'm not even sure I want to know how to do this. She goes, it's just like, he goes, like riding a bike. She goes, riding something. And they both start laughing. I was over it. He goes, you're very forward. She goes, you don't like strong women? He goes, I love strong women and beautiful ones. He goes, and then she goes, thank you. He goes, and you are. And then she goes, thank you again. And they both start laughing. She goes, listen, what if I told you I wasn't interested in letting this moment be known ever? He goes, I've heard that before. She goes, oh, so you have had affairs? He goes, no, a former friend said that to me. And long story short, they betrayed me. And she goes, well, listen, what makes you think I don't want to get my reputation ruined? And he goes, now, how would I ruin your reputation? And he goes, I didn't mean it like that. She goes, explain yourself. And so he's getting into it, and he's like, you're a woman. He goes, a strong one at that. She goes, yeah. He goes, I think you could actually help my reputation. She goes, you just politicked me. He goes, no, I didn't. She goes, yes, you did. You didn't answer the question. He was like, explain to me what you mean. She goes, well, I'm a final year law student. I worked for everything I've had up until this point. What makes you think I would just want to throw it away by messing with the most powerful man in the world, or soon to be powerful man in the world? She goes, I don't want to do that. She goes, so once again, I'm not interested in letting this moment be known ever. He goes, you promise? She goes, a real promise, yeah. Next thing you know, she gets up, and I wrote fast. She gets up, sits on his lap, and they're kissing, all right? So he's like, are we really doing this? She was like, you need to just stop thinking for a second and just be Charles for an hour or two. And he goes, Candace. And then she kisses him, and I think they went to the bed, but I stopped there because I said, skip. You know what I mean? Just, you know how you get the point, and they just still keep going? So you just have to make that, that decision on your own. Like, nah, I'm good on this. So that's what I had to do a couple times throughout the episode. Then we switched to Jeffrey, all right? He reading the text from Justin. One of them was like, Hannah Young just came down talking about she know where Candace is. Another one was like, and I'm sorry once again. And the other one was like, by the way, the Emmy reports show that they know there was more than one person. Then it was like, I can't text you. Too much texting. Call me if you want to talk, and I hope that you want to talk. So he's just looking at the phone. Veronica comes to this. She's like, I knew you was not been standing in this hallway all this time. And so he's just standing there. He's not saying anything. And she goes, Jeffrey, do I have to take that phone from you? And she goes, get in the room now. She goes, now. So he just gets in there. All right. So then Melissa come out the bathroom with like a nightie on. He like, that doesn't do anything for me, right? Like, it's doing nothing. She goes, yeah, I know, but it was your mother's idea. So she just gets in the bed. He calls Candace. He like, yo, I just wanted to tell you, your mom was down at the police station talking about she know where you at. Call me. She ain't picking up the phone because she laid up with Charles. All right. So Melissa's like, what's wrong? And he's like, we're not doing this. Like, we're not cool. Don't ask me what's wrong with me. None of that. And then he goes, you know what's wrong? You, this house, everything. And she goes, no, that's not it. He goes, yes, it is. She goes, no, it's something else. I could tell. He was like, don't try and act like you know me. She goes, you could tell me. Like, I could tell something is bothering you. He goes, you want to know what it is? I got into a fight with my lover. I said, really, Jeffrey? So she goes, oh, really? Was it bad? He goes, really? You really want to do this? You're going to act like you care? She goes, I'm not acting, just some. He goes, no. She goes, all right, fine, whatever. And she goes, so was it that cop outside? And he's like, really, Melissa? Are you serious right now? And she's like, I'm just saying, your body language with him was different than it would be if you were talking to a cop. He goes, so you're an expert on body language? She goes, no, I was just watching you and I saw that you. He goes, yes. That was my lover. We just had intercourse and everything. And just. Oh, he went to the max with it. I'm not going to do it. I can't. But at one point, he grabbed her hand and, was being inappropriate and was like, see, that's not for you. I'm thinking about what happened with him. And yeah. So then so he's gonna say something else because he's literally giving her a play-by-play. And Veronica goes, then what happened? And he goes, sorry. Okay, gotta go ahead and fix it. I gotta make sure I'm looking right from my 18 million viewers. Okay, I'm being told it's not that many. Moving on. So yeah, Veronica comes in. She goes, and then what happened? And then Jeffrey is like, so you're standing in the hallway now? She was like, I was on my way downstairs to get another drink, and then I just heard you telling about your, your escapades. And so he's like, are you sure you're ready for this, Mom? She goes, yeah, I want to see how low you can go. He goes, I could go just as low as you. And then she goes, Melissa, I love it when another queen comes from me. She goes, oh, yes, honey. Oh, yes, Miss Thing. You slay, girl. You go. She goes, isn't that how you do? Isn't that how the woman inside you works? So she's really coming for Jeffrey. Okay, she is coming for Jeffrey. I don't care which one to tell me. She goes, you were at the part where you were telling her how much you love Nasty Ace's man's sweat all over your body. You were telling her that part. Because then he tried to be like, are you ready? Because he was really trying to go tit for tat. But he already knew, I better shut it down. So then he goes, you know what, Mom, you know how you are when you drink. You should probably go sleep it off. She goes, the most important thing is that girl inside you knows how I am when I drink. And he goes, well, why don't we see if we can carve her out? She goes, are you referring to the paring knife that you stabbed me with? And he's like, once again, Mom, you've been drinking. You need to go and lay down. So then she goes, Melissa, Jeffrey's trying to testify against me in a case. Something to do with Wyatt Cryer. She goes, he's tried all sorts of things to put me away. Even tried to stab me in my chest. She goes, but I always come back. I always come back. Just all this. So then she goes, listen, I don't know what's going on between you and Officer Too Friendly down there. She goes, but that's over. So you need to think what's good now is your future right here. She pats Melissa's stomach because, the baby. She goes, this is your future here. She goes, I think he should. She goes, what? She goes, I think if he wants to be with him, he should be with him. And she goes, you think? She goes, yeah, I do. She goes, you don't think. You do what I tell you to do. She goes, you will carry my grandchild? And that is all, but you will not think. She goes, like, you're like this furniture or the wallpaper. You are bought and paid for. You do what I tell you to do. And thinking is not on that list. She shut Melissa down, okay? Bought and paid for. That's what she said. Bought and paid for. Now she goes, you're not going to see him again. Yeah. And he's like, Mom. He goes, you need to let this go. You need to just be happy that I'm here. He was like, I'm not going to deal with these ridiculous rules you got. I'm here. That's enough. You know what I'm saying? She goes, Jeffrey, you're going to do what I tell you to do. And he's like, Mom, leave me alone. She goes, I'm not afraid of you. I'm not scared of you. I'm not afraid of you. And he goes, Bobby Safeman. She got scared. She got scared. We see, because her whole demeanor was different, because she's drunk and everything. So he goes, not when you're drinking, at least. And then he goes, Bobby Safeman. And she goes, Jeffrey, I'm not trying to hurt you, son. I'm trying to make your life better like any parent would do, She goes, you're going to like this. You just got to try it a few more times, son. I'm just trying to help you. That's all I'm trying to do. And then he goes, by locking me in this room with her, you're trying to help me. She goes, I'm not locking you anywhere. I'm just telling you this is how it is. He goes, so I'm trading one prison for another. She goes, well, at least this one has comforters. And then he goes, she's not a bad looking girl. You know, she's not bad looking. She's got a few stretch marks. She's not quite dark enough. She's got no breasts. She whines a lot. She goes, but not everybody can be perfect like your mother. I said, this witch is crazy. The witch is crazy. She's crazy. Like, you know, not everybody can be perfect like your mother. I said, she is drinking, and Angela was drinking on set. Tyler said, Angela, you need to go ahead and grab yourself a drink. And then she goes, now, enough of that nasty talk, because I'm sure it bothers her just as much as it bothers me. All right. And then she goes, now, enjoy your future wife. And then she goes, you think. You know, talking about Melissa. She goes, Jeffrey, did she tell you she thinks? And then she grabs his hand and puts it on top of hers and enjoy your future wife. And then she leaves. Melissa starts crying. And is kind of trying to reach over to Jeffrey for comfort, but he's not with it. So she's like, I'm sorry, and kind of tries to scoot near him. And he's like, move. And he's crying at the moment. That's why I was like, they all stopped. They really about to have that moment. They didn't, because Jeffrey wasn't really allowing it. He was just going tit for tat, like, oh, my situation is worse. And he's like, Jeffrey, look, I'm sorry. You know, I'm sorry for getting you into this. I'm sorry that I didn't know when I first got into this what it was going to turn into. I thought this was going to be a way to make some quick money. She goes, I can't let my father die, Jeffrey, because he's like, she goes, we're in the same boat. Like, we're both forced to be here. He goes, yeah, right. She goes, I can't let my father die, Jeffrey. He worked all his life. I was supposed to go to school, work, take care of my parents, you know, but it didn't turn out like that. That's not how it panned out. She goes, I can't let him die. She goes, but I'm sorry. You know, I didn't think that it was going to get to this. I thought it was just going to be a way to make some quick money. And she's like, you don't know what it's like, you know, to have my father dying and stuff. He was like, does it kind of feel... No, she goes, this is just evil, what she's doing to you. I think it's evil. He's like, evil, like, you know, working with somebody's mother and then trapping them and getting pregnant. She goes, yeah, that's pretty evil too. She goes, but I'm sorry, Jeffrey. You know, I'm sorry that you don't deserve this. I'm sorry that we're both involved in this. I'm sorry. He goes, well, at least you don't have to go to jail. She goes, jail? He goes, yeah. She goes, what did you do? He goes, I murdered someone. He goes, you don't look shocked. She goes, with a mother like that, I'm surprised you're not a serial killer. He goes, so you think this is funny? She's like, no, I don't believe you. He just sits there. She's like, you're serious? You're serious? He's like, yeah. She goes, what did you do? He goes, I murdered somebody. She goes, what pushed you to it? He goes, I was just pushed. She goes, like you are right now? He like, exactly how I am right now. He was like, in 5th grade, Bobby Safeman pushed me. She goes, I'm just telling you, listen. She goes, I heard that you're in your mother's will. So she's telling Jeffrey how Veronica moves like clockwork. She goes, if you want to go out to see your friend, you know, she comes up the stairs every 2 hours. She passes out on the couch every night. She is really miserable. Like, she's unhappy. She goes, but I hear you're in her will. She goes, I just need a little bit of money. He goes, I'm not doing anything to my mom. That's not going to happen. And then so she goes, I'm not asking you to do anything to her. I'm saying if you want to see your friend, be back by 4 a.m. So Melissa wants to take Veronica out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Out. So then she goes, good night. Then we switch to Jim. Oscar calls him, like, I know where Wyatt is. He goes, dang, that was quick. He goes, well, he wasn't hiding it. He goes, yeah. He goes, well, what's the address? He goes, 577 Waterfront Way, apartment number 9. He goes, that property that we bought last year? He goes, oh, you own that? He's like, yeah, we bought it last year. He goes, he got this place for like $3 million. He goes, wait, what, here? He's like, yeah. He goes, dang it, that kid. He goes, yeah, honestly, he probably could have got it for $700 grand. He definitely got, like, scammed. So then Jim is, oh yeah, Oscar's telling him the money was moved into an offshore account, so that's going to make it difficult. But since he was able to get scammed into getting this apartment, I'm sure we can set up a scheme that he'll fall for. And he's like, all right, well, thanks, Oscar. I got to tell you I'm impressed. It's been less than an hour. He goes, well, I kind of feel like I'm behind. I'll call you back. He hangs up. Jim calls George. He goes, I have a wire and recording equipment at the house. He goes, so you're going to do it? He's like, well, yeah, I hope you get that, you know. He called her a name. He was like, once and for all, if you do something for me, he was like, don't worry, Jim, we'll get you We'll give you all the pictures, make sure they're destroyed and stuff. He goes, how are you going to prosecute her? He goes, we'll have you pick one of your choice. He goes, they're all bad, George. He goes, well, we can modify them. So then he goes, if I do this, I want her one way or another. I want her. So he was like, all right. And then he goes, thanks, George. Hang up the phone. He goes, I'll let you know. He goes, when can we start this? George goes, right now. He goes, okay, well, I'll let you know what's going on. Catherine, Jim is in the kitchen, like, washing his hands. Catherine comes in, because there was, like, a beeper. No, there's something, you heard, like, a door close or something. He looks outside. He's like, what the heck? He goes, Catherine, what the heck is Hannah doing in Amanda's car? He goes, did you loan her the car? She goes, no, I gave it to her. He's like, you gave it to her. That's my daughter's car. She goes, wait a minute. What is she doing? He goes, she's about to get out of Amanda's car. She goes, Jim, the title is already in her name. It's hers. He goes, what the heck is going on between you two? What was that? Why did he say it like that? I'm not even going to say nothing. Catherine goes outside. She goes, I didn't know you were coming. And she goes, you can't sell this car. She goes, that's not what I'm here for. Yeah, she goes, not what I'm here for. She goes, I need a criminal lawyer. She goes, what did you do this time? She goes, not me, my kids, my daughter, and my son. She goes, what are you talking about? What's going on? She goes, I can't say. She goes, 9 and Benny. She goes, Candace and Benny. She goes, Hannah, you know how much I hate. She goes, my daughter. She goes, yeah. She goes, that's still my child, Catherine. She goes, yeah. She goes, Hannah, I'd rather give you this house than to help that girl out in any way. She goes, I know that. She goes, yeah, you would be helping her, but you'd be doing me a favor. So will you do it? She goes, I can call around, but she goes, but you know Veronica's the best. She goes, girl, please. She goes, I can call Marty, but I'm telling you, she's beat Marty at every turn. She's beat him every time. She's the best. She goes, as much as I hate the witch. She goes, well, that is your friend. She goes, if you say her. She goes, she's not. She's like, I'll call Marty in the morning. He's probably asleep right now. So she goes, okay. She goes, well, come inside. She goes, no, I got to go back to see my grandson. She's like, okay. So then we switch back to Charles and Candace. And he's like, dang, like, how did you learn all that stuff or whatever? She's like, I just feel like when I'm with a man, he should feel pleased, up and down, all this, that, and the third. And so he's like, how many men have you been with? And she's like, I just feel like the man that I'm with at the time is the most important. And then, and she asked him, she goes, how many women have you been with? He goes, I asked you first. And so he goes, oh, so you used to kind of get around or whatever. He goes, what made you change? She goes, I'm getting older, and I just want to settle down, maybe about 5 years or so. I feel like that was a little bit of truth coming from Candace. And then he goes, so what's your story? She goes, we're not doing this. She goes, what's your story? He goes, you can read about me online. She goes, but that's not your true story. So what is it? He goes, look. He goes, in reality, this can't go anywhere. And then her posture kind of changed a little bit. He's like, don't get upset. She's, I'm not getting upset. What do you mean? He's like, I'm just saying, I'm the president. I can't. He goes, my wife would have never done something like this. She was conservative. I'm conservative. She was a conservative. I'm pretty sure you're probably a closeted freak or something. You're freaky on the low. She goes, your wife probably was too. He's like, you know what? I'm going to go. She goes, yeah, you should. And then the real Candace just came right out. And he goes, look, I'm sorry. She goes, no problem. He goes, I'm sorry if I offended you. She goes, no problem. I feel like that kind of, like, it messed him over because it played into what Candace already thinks of most guys. He got what he wanted and was kind of a jerk afterward. So I feel like she didn't really feel bad about it anymore because it kind of looked like maybe she was feeling bad when he said he had kids. She was still going to go through with it, but when he was like, in reality, you and I could never happen because, we're on different levels, kind of what he was trying to say. Candace was like, oh, F him. Like, she didn't feel bad about it no more. He was like, look, I need you to understand that if this gets out, it could hurt a lot of people. And so she was like, you trying to appeal to my moral compass? He goes, yeah. She goes, well, mine always points south, straight to HW Hockey Sticks. He goes, Candace. He goes, I can't have this get out. She goes, well, I can. And, like, pulls out a recorder. Then we switch to Erica and David. I don't know what happened. I heard a moan and a groan. I don't know. Then I see Warlock got into the hotel room, is watching them, and looks mad as a hatter, as they say. Mad as a hatter. He's looking mad as heck, and Erica looks scared. Okay, next week on the Haves and Have-Nots. So next week is the finale. That is when I'm going to do the shout-outs. I've decided it. So, Rel, just hold on. Just hold on, brother. I'm gonna do them next week. I'm gonna do them for the, you know I gotta do it for the finale. Yeah. Oh, finished earlier than I expected. So yeah, I'm gonna do them next week. I'm gonna do, Rel, you can come to my location and kill me if I don't know. I'm gonna next week, man. Next week, the finale. You know, we gotta say something big for the finale. All right. Because, you know, they're going out with a bang. We see Benny is at the house. Like, what the heck, Veronica? She ain't have David in a minute. So her hormones are going crazy. She need to go ahead and get her medication so she can calm down. You know what I'm saying? Because she acting like she dying right about now. Jeffrey witnesses it. The police do actually come to the hotel, but Candace is not there. So next week is about to be on and popping on. Thank you so much for watching. It's your girl, Jada J. Y'all know what the drill is. I gotta go to school tomorrow. Peace.